Hello and welcome back to another episode of Python Data Engineer Interview Prep. I gathered this information from Glassdoor and this seems to be a tricky problem. Let's see how we are going to tackle this. And the question statement is, find anyone who batched into a room 3 or more times in 1 hour period. Your function should return each of the employees who fit that criteria, plus the times they are batched in during the 1 hour period. If there are multiple 1 hour periods where this was true for an employee, just return the earliest one of the employee. So we have this batch information here, and this is the expected output. So let's start with Paul here. So these are the timings in one day where Paul batched in. And if we see here, this combination here, these 4 entries of that time, they fall under 1 hour period. And even if we see this combination here, this will fall under the 1 hour time period. But since they asked to return the earliest one, we are just considering this 1 hour period rather than the second occurrence here. And that is the expected output here. And for Jennifer, if you see, he has 4 batch timings for that day, but none of them fall under the 1 hour time period, so he's not considered in the output. And for Jose, we see these many times he batched in on that day, but if we see here this combination, this will fall under 1 hour time period, and even this will fall under the 1 hour time period, but we have to consider the earliest one, which will be 1 2 3 4 5 here, and that is what we see in the output. And similarly for other employees too. So let's get started. So the first thing what I'll do is I'll collect all the timings for each employee here. So my employee will be the key and all the timings will be in the value. So that will be dictionary with key, and the values will be in the list there. So I'll start defining a dictionary here, and I'll iterate through the loop here. So for k comma v, for key comma value here, I'll just consider this as a key and value here. For k comma v in batch, if k in d, let's say if for the first time we don't have anything in d, so I'll go to the else condition here. So I'll just say d of k. So I'm just inserting for the first time for Paul here, and if you see here, this is a string. So since I need to do a check on 1 hour period, this has to be an integer, so I'll convert that to an integer. And if you see here, this is the output I want, at least in the dictionary. This is the key and value pair I'm trying to insert. So this is a list. So I'll put like a list here and then convert that value into integer. And if it is already existing in the dictionary, I'll just say that key dot append integer of value. And let's see how the dictionary looks like after this step. So this is the dictionary here. Paul is the key, and we have in the entire list of his timings here. Similarly for the other employees. And now what I'll be doing here is, again I will iterate through this key and value. So once I have this value here, I'll just sort these values in the ascending order, and then I'll check the 1 hour time period. So let's see. So now I'll just say I'll define some output here. That is the output I'll be returning. For k comma value in d dot items. So now the value is, it is a list here. I need to sort. So I'll just define a temporary variable here. I'll just say t is equal to sorted of V. So now I'll just try to do a print here. Let's see what it will return. So this is for the key. I'll just print even the key value here. So for Paul, we see all the entries in the ascending order. So now we can just iterate through this sorted list and get a 1 hour time period. So I'll say for I in range of length of this sorted T here. So what I'll do is this sorted here k comma I'm sorry, so let me try to print k comma T here, not V. Yes, now this is the sorted one. So what I'll do is I'll take this first value in some variable and then I'll iterate through the rest of the list here and check if this value minus my first value is less than or equal to 100. That's the criteria I'll be looking for. So here I'll be defining the first one is I'll say my temporary variable is equal to first value in my T. So the first value will be this one here. And now I'll when I start iterating through the rest of the list, and if I find a match, I need to just collect that in a temporary list here. I'll initiate that temporary list and add my first value here, which is temp. And now I'll iterate for j in range of I plus 1 because already I have here I. So I'll just start, my I value is 1315. I'll start with I plus 1 here to the length of my T. If T of j minus my first value, which is in the temp, is less than or equal to 100, 1 hour period. So this 1 hour period is nothing but 100 here in this time format. So if it is less than or equal to 100, I'll just append to my temporary list here. That will be T of j. So already I have my T of I here. So if this condition is met, I'll just add this condition, the second value here. If that condition is not met, I need to come out of that loop here. I'll just say break here. So for example, I'll start with this one and I'll iterate through this loop, and 1355 is met with that condition, 1405 met with that condition, 1415 is also in that condition, and when it reaches 1416, it doesn't meet this requirement here. That's when it should just come out of that loop here. And here I need to check one more condition here. The condition is it should be 3 or more times. So my temporary list here, whatever I collected, I need to check if length of that temporary list, if it is greater than or equal to 3, only those entries I need to put in my final dictionary here. And even in that final dictionary, just one condition we have to check here is we have to check the earliest one. So let's say if I just keep on adding that key to that dictionary, it will replace the existing one. But I don't want to add to that dictionary if it is already existing, because I just want the first entry. So I'll just check one more condition here. If my key is not in my final answer, only then I'll just add that key and then check condition here. And once the iteration is done, I'll just print the answer, and let's see if we are going to get the expected output here. I'll just copy this one here. And for Paul, we have these entries Jose we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for Zhang we have 3, and Amos we have 3, and this is the expected output. Instead of print, I'll just say return. Yeah, so this is the expected output we got. So this is kind of tricky, but if we can just understand how we can sort and extract that 1 hour time period here, that will be a very straightforward solution. Thank you for watching this video.